Have you ever been out with your toddler, let's say at the park, and you need to leave because it's time to go home to make dinner or lunch, whatever it may be, and you're afraid of what to do because you don't know how to avoid a tantrum? Super common. You see it often. You have a toddler who's running around the playground, maybe their parents trying to chase them down and grab them. The kid is then screaming, trying to make themselves limp, throw themselves onto the floor. You have the parent who's progressively getting more frustrated, ends up yelling, doesn't know what to do, can't get the kid into the stroller sometimes if they need to walk to the car. You know how difficult it can be to strap a kid into a stroller when they don't want to get in it. Or for that matter, when you get to the car and you get to the car seat, that's a whole nother battle. Have you had something like this happen? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm sorry. Hopefully this video will help. It's not like you can avoid going to the park, for example, because you want your child to go out, have fun, socialize. That's what we did as we were kids, right? And I'm sure we also gave our parents hell in the meantime. But this is about you and your toddler. So what can you do? I'm a behavior analyst, and I've been helping parents manage their kids' behavior for over 10 years now. This is a very common thing. I don't need to tell you that. I'm sure you can talk to anyone and they'll tell you, oh yeah, transitioning from the park to the car, transitioning, I don't know, into the grocery store or out of the grocery store, or just dealing with tantrums in the grocery store, tantrums at the doctor's office, tantrums at the dentist's office. Tantrums wherever you go. If you have a toddler, there will be a tantrum. And a common thing that I have found to help with tantrums is simply switching up the way that you communicate with your toddler. It's huge. Just changing up the way you say things, the order of things, simple things that you can make in your everyday life can make a drastic difference in your toddler and their tantrums. Working with parents, I find that they often communicate with their toddlers with these types of statements. It's time to go. Say bye and let's get in the car. You can't stay longer. Can you get your shoes? If you stop crying, I'll give you your tablet. Do you speak like this to your toddler? It's okay if you do. It's pretty normal. Do you find yourself speaking to your toddler this way? It's pretty normal. Let's talk about different ways that you can communicate to help reduce those tantrums. Focusing on the first statement that I said, which was, it's time to go, say bye, and let's get in the car. You can flip that and simply put some emphasis on what's coming up next and making it sound fun. So you can say something like, it's time to go make lunch. Do you want to watch Encanto or Paw Patrol on the tablet while you're in the car? It's helpful if you make the choices highly preferred choices. Highly preferred choices are simply things that your child loves. Not likes, loves. The things that are very highly motivating for them, because they're more likely to transition easier if you have placed emphasis on the next thing that's coming up. Even if you're not transitioning from a place to a place, you can also do this if you're going from one activity to another. As far as the second statement that I mentioned, which was, you can't stay longer, can you put on your shoes? It's best if you present your requests as statements. If you ask your child, can you put on your shoes, and they say no, it's technically appropriate for them to do that because you asked the question and they answered it. They're not doing anything wrong. I feel like I say this in every video, so if you've seen a past one, I apologize, but it's a very common thing, and sometimes it's such a simple fix to change your way of communicating that will really help your toddler's behavior be more appropriate. What you can say instead is, put on your shoes, please. We can play Disney music and eat gummies once we're in the car. So you're letting them know, first of all, that they have to put their shoes on. Second of all, that you're getting in that car. And third of all, look, you get this once you get in the car, but you can't have it until you get in the car. You just said it very nicely, not in a mean way, but you've gotten your point across and there aren't any questions about it, so they need to do it. As far as the third statement goes, which was, if you stop crying, I'll give you the tablet. What you may not want to do is phrase it that way, because that is considered bribery. So instead, you can focus on what they should do instead of what they shouldn't do. So you can say something along the lines of, I've got a new game on your tablet. I can show it to you as soon as you're sitting quietly. And see, by phrasing it that way, you're placing more emphasis on what the correct behavior is and you're rewarding the correct behavior. It's best to do that if they're in the middle of a tantrum and you need to try to transition them or redirect them. It's just making sure that they've been sitting quietly for like 5 seconds. You can even count with them if you have a child who will be okay with that. Some kids, if you start counting, if you're like, okay, let's be quiet. All right, here we go. It's count to 5. 1, 2. Counting may just make the tantrum worse. So you know your child best. You can try it. If it doesn't work, don't count, just count in your head. And once they've been quiet for 3 to 5 seconds, then you can provide the reward. And why do you want to wait for them to do it for a few seconds before providing the tablet? Because you want to make sure that your child has been basically behaving appropriately for a few seconds before you reward that behavior. You don't want to reward the behavior of like being bad and then immediately being good to immediately get what they want. If they're being bad, which again is just the tantrum, then if they start doing something good, you want to make sure that they maintain that for at least a few seconds before you reward that behavior and not the other one. So it makes a big difference if you just wait a few seconds. Obviously, over time, you can start to wait longer and longer as your child gets better at it. So, long story short, changing up your behavior and your communication style will really make a difference on your toddler's behavior over time. If you have any questions, any ideas, if you try it out and it works or it doesn't work, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear about it. My goal with my videos is simply to help lead you to more peaceful parenting so you can focus on spending time with your family, more peaceful time with your toddler, just, enjoying spending time with them, which is really all that matters to you. You can subscribe if you found this video helpful. I'll be putting out one once a week. I've got others on my channel if you want to check them out. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Bye.